Hi everyone, long time no see. My name is Carp and welcome to another video on this channel. I haven't posted for a while, so I thought that would be a good idea to do something special. So here it is, a marker review. These are Prismacolor markers. Now, to be honest with you, I actually never knew that this brand produces markers, because I'm quite sure that this brand is known for their high quality colored pencils. Now, honestly, I didn't really have high expectations of these markers, but to be fair, I was surprised. So let's see some facts about the Prismacolors. First thing that I observed is that the brush nib is missing, but it's replaced with a point nib, and of course the chisel nib is there. Also, the two ends are marked with a thin and thick line to indicate what type of nib is present at the two ends. Something very important is that these markers are based on alcohol, and as we know from the past, this type of markers blend very well. Although I can't say that these markers are up to the task. Now, don't take me wrong, these markers are usable, but their price is a bit bigger than it should have been. These type of markers are very common, especially if they are cheap, because making alcohol-based markers with a brush nib it's more expensive, and of course it's more useful. But the point nib is not too bad either. I found myself to be able to get really small details that would be harder to get with a brush nib. Because the point nib it's easier to control, but it's also harder to get a organic effect. Plus it's more difficult to blend very well when the nib is very stiff. Also, I was kind of intimidated by the bulky shape of these markers, because I thought that it wouldn't be very pleasant to hold them in the hand. But it was a surprise when I held one for the first time and see how comfortable it is to work with them. So that's a plus. Okay, now let's get back to our drawing. Today I will draw a unicorn, and the background is gonna be the galaxy. I started by coloring the unicorn with gray tones, and the process was simple. First I added the lightest gray tone I got, and then I started building up shades. But do you remember when I said that these markers don't blend very well? Well, that was a fact, because there are some areas which are not as smooth as I hoped they would be. But you can't have them all, I guess. So at one point I actually wanted to do the galaxy using watercolor, but because I'm not that skilled with paint, I used the Copic markers instead. And I have to admit, Prismacolors plus Copics? Not bad at all. Now, I get that it's weird because I'm using the markers that are supposed to be the Copics, but to be honest with you, using these two brands of markers together was probably the best experience that I had with markers since I started using them. So you probably want to know this. In terms of art materials, I used a Pentel mechanical pencil with 0.5mm HB lead, a Mono Zero eraser for the finer mistakes, and a bit bigger eraser for the bit bigger mistakes. Then for inking, I used a 0.3, 0.4 and 0.8 fineliners, and of course the hero of today's episode, the Prismacolor and the Copic markers. But also let's not forget about the Jelly Roll white pen. This pen was very useful for adding the stars and other highlights. And talking about stars, I actually placed a very big star behind the unicorn's horn, so it would give the illusion of a glowing horn. Now, of course, I could make the horn brighter, but I figured that by adding this illusion, I could both make the drawing more realistic, but still looking awesome. And now it's time to put an end to this video. It was interesting to use these markers, but they are not as good as I hoped they would be, or at least not as good for their price. Are these the Copic killers? Nah, probably not. But are they close to be? Nah, probably not. The whole purpose of this series was to find a cheaper alternative for the Copics, but still to have a high quality. And I'm afraid that these markers have a lower quality with a very high price. I mean $50 per 12 markers. That's not a great deal. Well, thank you very much for your support, and if you like this video and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Also comment down below what art materials you want me to review next, and leave me a thumbs up because it helps me a lot. Thanks for drawing with me today, and until next time, I'll see you later.